Hello there people, my name is Amanamaz and I have been playing Horizon Forbidden West. And I have to start by saying it is the most beautiful game I have ever played. Every different area, ranging from the coast of the former San Francisco to the desert of Las Vegas, it is gorgeous, especially in the old city areas where it's full of greenery. I could simply just explore and take pictures and still be entertained. If you can, play it on the PS5 or wait many years and play it on the PC. To be fair, you might have to wait many years to get a PS5 anyway, considering there's only like 40 in stock. Before I get into the spoilery stuff, please like and subscribe, I'll greatly appreciate it if you did. So this game takes place about 6 months after the original, and basically shit is dying because Gaia blew herself up, and she was the one that controlled everything when the Earth healed itself after machines took over. So the premise of the game is that you have to look for a Gaia backup to stop everything from dying, and it's located in, you guessed it, in the Forbidden West. And like I mentioned earlier, the entire map is just beautiful to play in. It's so immersive and builds on the previous game. It is more densely populated with machines and there's more to loot around. So it's not a mile wide and a meter deep, if you know what I mean. And it's quite the feat too, as the map is a lot bigger than the original. I love the designs for the new machines, and they've gone for more prehistoric creatures too, which I like. Like we see a triceratops, different raptors, and woolly mammoths, or metal mammoths in this case. And I really like the challenge of taking down these new machines because we all like new things. Though the meerkat machine pisses me off quite a bit. I really enjoy the lore of the tribes and the rivalry and traditions they have between one another. It makes the story for me, and I kind of wish it was emphasized more in the main story, because it's mainly done in the side quest or the secondary arc, because to me that's the more interesting part when compared to what happens later on. One small thing that I didn't like in this game that also happened in the first one was that the melee combat isn't great. It's just a heavy and light attack, and it doesn't give you an option to block, which would have been useful against other humans. I know you're meant to focus on projectiles like your bow, but I don't think they've got the right ratio in my opinion. Now, as the search goes on for a Gaia backup, you come across these futuristic humans that are part machine called the Far Zeniths, along with another Aloy clone called Beta, or Elizabeth clone, as you're already a clone of her. As soon as I saw them, I didn't like them. Not from a in-story reason, because they're the bad guys, but from a writing and presentation stance. So who are these guys? Basically, when the world was ending initially because of that dickhead Ted Faro, a few of the elites got on a ship with their own version of Gaia and headed out into space to colonize a similar planet called Sirius. Which makes sense going into space, because how else would you escape it? But it does kind of undermine Elizabeth's sacrifice in the first game. And these people figured out how to become immortal and become part machine, but they got too greedy and wanted to transfer their consciousness to machines that they could live forever digitally, which is stupid because they're already immortal. But in doing so, they created an AI called Nemesis, which destroyed the new colony and is after the Zeniths heading to Earth. Nemesis also caused the signal for Hades in the original game, by the way. So the Zeniths are here to steal a Gaia backup, restart Earth, killing everyone in the process, so they can get more resources and go back to space and run away from Nemesis. Now, I didn't like this part of the story. I thought it jumped the shark. The reason why I loved the first game was because of the grounded sci-fi elements that blended really well with the primitive and tribal setting. And since they were introduced in this game, they lost the perfect balance it had. They were almost cartoonishly evil too. This is just how they were written that I didn't like. Their presentation was even worse. They had these personal force fields, they could fly and shoot lasers. They looked like Eternals from the Marvel movie, yet they lost to people with spears, swords and bow and arrows. Their designs weren't that good either. They looked like some B-Tech Star Trek characters. And they had these generic nanobot machines that lacked any sense of uniqueness to them. And they even lost to the primitive machines. So yeah, it's fair to say that I didn't like any of their involvement in the story. And I'm glad that we killed them all off in the end, because this game ends up setting up the next one. So hopefully we don't ever see them again. This element of the story brought down the quality of the game for me. I just thought it was that stupid. And it's a shame because everything else in this game is fantastic. So when the story is over, I'll be more invested when I just roam around the map, take out rival tribes and complete all the side missions. So overall, I don't think it was good as the original. It was good, but not great. The villains really let me down. They were that bad, but everything else is worth getting invested in and exploring. and by far the best looking game I have ever played, and probably will be for a while. If I had to give it a rating, it will probably be a 7 out of 10. It probably would have been a 9 or a 10 if the Zeniths were a lot better. But at the end of the day, the pros outweigh the cons, and I suggest you give it a go. If you like my review, please like and subscribe. It would greatly be appreciated, and I shall see you next time, and peace.